This month, cybersecurity threats have reached unprecedented levels, with millions of cars vulnerable to remote hijacking, AI-powered spyware infiltrating trusted devices, and nation-state hackers breaching critical infrastructure. Your personal data, your privacy, and even your physical safety are at risk. The digital world has never been more dangerous. Are you prepared for what's coming? Let's uncover shocking vulnerabilities that have put millions at risk last month. Let's kick things off with a story that sounds like it's straight out of a Hollywood thriller. On June 11, 2024, security researchers uncovered a set of vulnerabilities in Kia vehicles that allowed remote control over key functions using nothing more than a license plate number. These attacks could be executed on any hardware-equipped Kia in about 30 seconds, regardless of whether it had an active Kia Connect subscription. But it gets worse. An attacker could silently obtain personal information, including the victim's name, phone number, email address, and physical address. This would allow the hacker to add themselves as an invisible second user on the victim's vehicle without their knowledge. To demonstrate the severity of these vulnerabilities, the researchers built a tool that could execute commands on a Kia vehicle after just 30 seconds of entering its license plate. Imagine the implications. A stranger could track your car's location, start and stop its engine, lock and unlock the doors, activate lights and horns, and even peek through the car's 360-degree cameras. The vulnerability affected Kia models as far back as 2014, with newer cars offering even more capabilities to potential attackers. Now, let's shift gears from 4 wheels to 4-inch screens. Your trusty MacBook or iMac might not be as secure as you think, especially with the rise of AI-powered tools like ChatGPT. Cybersecurity experts have recently uncovered a disturbing trend. Hackers are using ChatGPT to create sophisticated spyware targeting macOS devices. This AI-assisted malware is more adaptable, harder to detect, and capable of evading traditional security measures. The spyware, dubbed Silent Sentry, uses advanced natural language processing to mimic legitimate system processes. It can analyze user behavior, adapt its activities to avoid detection, and even generate convincing phishing messages tailored to individual users. Moving on to a vulnerability that's giving IT administrators sleepless nights, the US Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency added a critical flaw in Ivanti's Endpoint Manager to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. This vulnerability, tracked as CVE 2024-29A24, carries a CVSS score of 9.6 out of 10. That's about as bad as it gets in the world of cybersecurity. The flaw allows an unauthenticated attacker within the same network to execute arbitrary code, potentially giving them full control over affected systems. What's particularly concerning is that this vulnerability has been actively exploited in the wild. Ivanti confirmed that a limited number of customers have already been targeted, highlighting the urgent need for organizations to patch their systems. Federal agencies have been mandated to update their instances by October 23, 2024. However, given the critical nature of this vulnerability, waiting until the deadline could be a costly mistake for any organization using Ivanti EPM. Now, let's talk about a scam that's taken the mobile world by storm. Cybersecurity firm Group IB has uncovered a large-scale fraud campaign that's given a whole new meaning to the phrase, "bringing home the bacon." This campaign is part of a consumer investment fraud scheme known as pig butchering. The term refers to a method where scammers fatten up their victims before going in for the kill. Financially speaking, of course. Here's how it works. The fraudsters lure victims into making investments in cryptocurrency or other financial instruments. They do this by gaining trust under the guise of a romantic relationship or posing as an investment advisor. It's like a digital wolf in sheep's clothing. But in this case, the wolf is wearing a business suit and promising you the moon. What makes this particular campaign stand out is its use of fake trading apps. These malicious apps were published on both the Apple App Store and Google Play Store, giving them an air of legitimacy that could fool even the most cautious users. One app, named SBI INT, even managed to slip past Apple's notoriously strict App Store review process. It masqueraded as a tool for commonly used algebraic mathematical formulas and 3D graphics volume area calculation. Talk about a wolf in nerd's clothing. The app had a clever trick up its sleeve. It included a check in its source code that determined if the current date and time were earlier than July 22, 2024. If so, it would launch a fake screen with formulae and graphics. After that date, its true malicious nature would be revealed. For mobile apps, let's move to e-commerce platforms. If you're running an online store using Adobe Commerce or Magneto, you might want to sit up and pay attention to this next bit. Cybersecurity researchers have dropped a bombshell. 5% of all Adobe Commerce and Magneto stores have been hacked. The culprit? A critical security vulnerability is dubbed Cosmic Sting. Cosmic Sting, officially tracked as CVE 2024-34102, is what's known as an XML external entity reference vulnerability. In simpler terms, it's a flaw that allows attackers to execute code remotely on affected systems. On the CVSS scoring system, it rates a 9.8 out of 10. That's about as critical as vulnerabilities get. Dutch security firm Sanzik didn't mince words when describing Cosmic Sting. They called it the worst bug to hit Magneto and Adobe Commerce stores in 2 years. That's not a title any e-commerce platform wants to earn. Let's shift our focus to a threat that's making waves at the highest levels of national security. According to a recent report from the Wall Street Journal, nation-state threat actors backed by Beijing have successfully infiltrated a handful of US internet service providers. The activity has been attributed to a threat actor known as Salt Typhoon, also recognized by the aliases Famous Para and Ghost Emperor. These aren't script kiddies we're dealing with. This is a highly organized, well-funded operation with potentially devastating consequences. What's particularly alarming is the possibility that these intruders may have gained access to Cisco Systems routers. For those not in the know, these are core network components that route much of the traffic on the internet. It's like gaining access to the control room of the internet itself. This isn't Salt Typhoon's first rodeo. The group first came to light in October 2021 when it was caught targeting Southeast Asian entities with a rootkit named Demodex. Fast forward to July 2024, and they were found compromising a business partner's network through one of their victims. Now, let's talk about a threat that's hitting a bit closer to home. Or should I say, closer to your smartphone. Kaspersky, a leading cybersecurity firm, has uncovered a new version of a known malware loader called Necro, and it's using some pretty clever disguises to sneak into your device. Imagine downloading what you think is a legitimate app associated with Spotify, WhatsApp, or Minecraft. Sounds harmless, right? Well, not in this case. These altered versions of popular apps are actually Trojan horses, carrying a nasty surprise in the form of the Necro malware. But here's where it gets really concerning. Some of these malicious apps have been found on the Google Play Store. We're not talking about some shady third-party app store. This is Google's official app marketplace, the place most Android users trust implicitly for their app downloads. Two apps in particular have raised red flags are Woda Camera Dice.always. This app was downloaded over 10 million times, and Mac's browser Private and Security. This one racked up over 1 million downloads. As of now, Mac's browser have been removed from the Play Store. Woda Camera, on the other hand, has been updated to remove the malware. However, damage may already be done to millions of users who downloaded these apps. Just when you thought it was safe to trust your access management software, SolarWinds drops a bombshell. The company has released fixes for 2 security flaws in its access rights manager software, including a critical vulnerability that could result in remote code execution. The flaw, tracked as CVE 2024-28991, is described as an instance of decentralization of untrusted data. In simpler terms, this vulnerability could allow an unauthenticated user to abuse the service, resulting in remote code execution. It's like giving someone the keys to your house and then realizing they can also access your safe, your computer, and your deepest secrets. But wait, there is more. SolarWinds also patched a medium security flaw, CVE 2024-28990, that exposed a hard-coded credential. If exploited, this could allow unauthorized access to the RabbitMQ management console. These flaws were discovered by security researcher Piotr Bazilo of the Trend Micro Zero Day initiative. It's a reminder that even in the world of cybersecurity, sometimes it takes an outsider to spot the vulnerabilities we've been living with all along. From the realm of traditional computing, let's take a leap into the future, or at least Apple's vision of it. Researchers have uncovered a now-patched security flaw in the Apple Vision Pro that could allow malicious attackers to infer data entered on the device's virtual keyboard. This attack, dubbed Gazeploit, has been assigned the identifier CVE 2024-40865. In simpler terms, how you look at the virtual keyboard to type could be given away more than just your words. It's like someone being able to read your handwriting just by watching your hand move, even if they can't see the paper. This vulnerability highlights the unique security challenges posed by new technologies like mixed reality. As we integrate more of our physical actions into our digital interactions, we're opening up new avenues for potential exploitation. Apple, to their credit, addressed the issue in visionOS 1.3, released on July 29, 2024. So, what do you think? After learning about all these flaws, will we still be protected or not? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.